Welcome back to another episode of the Cody Tucker Show. As always, I'm your host, Cody Tucker. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, the one and only Miss Eva Angelina. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Could not be better. Been looking forward to this for a while. Obviously, I have been a pretty big fan for a while. My introduction to the old adult world hit at about the perfect time. So yeah,
I get that often as far as
I would imagine.
time frames in people's lives, their introduction, and here I am, the girl with the glasses, which I probably should have worn the glasses, but
I'll be honest, it's a little, it's a little weird. It's like Slash without a top hat.
right. Well, I got LASIK in 2015, and never in a million years did I think that people would be like, "Where's your glasses? Where's your glasses?" I'm like, "What?"
It's a trademark. I mean,
It's turned out that way. Originally, I just wanted to see, so
yeah, no, there's something just like inherently attractive about glasses. Like when they wear glasses. I don't know what it is. It's just a thing. Like any ask any
what's done
guy.
to them too also. So,
Yeah, my God. So before we kick into things, go ahead, plug, promote, where can people find you, all that good stuff.
so I would have to say right now the most convenient way to check out any new content of mine is through my OnlyFans account. There are going to be way more to be seen as far as mainstream video production coming up here soon. So we'll get into that a little bit. And then
Yeah.
really my social media, Eva Angelina official on is my Instagram, and then also my Twitter or X
Yeah.
is only Eva Angelina. So it's the variation between the two, between TikTok, YouTube, all that.
Mhm. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, your Instagram is a hell of a follow. I'll say that for sure. God.
There's so many different like parts of my life, so I just want to be able to share it with you all, and
Yeah.
very many layers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're always like just doing like you just did a half marathon, didn't you?
Oh, I'm training for one. I'm
Training for what? Okay, well, you were
training for
doing
one.
you were running. I mean,
Yeah, so
but that wasn't the half marathon.
that was not. So I
Okay.
was actually I joined a run club, and that was the amount of people that showed up to it. It's a
Jesus.
Yeah, it's like hundreds of people. It's a community run club, and every Thursday they are just like gun ho, and I'm like, all right, this is perfect. So you get all adrenaline out and everything, and somehow you end up running more than you would normally do if you were on a treadmill or running by yourself.
Yeah. That's crazy. So
Yeah,
when's the half marathon?
yet to be determined. I just wanted to
Okay.
see how the first 2 miles was gonna go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I would have been in a morgue
Oh,
after those.
I
Jesus.
well, it had been 5 years since I ran 2 miles, really even just a mile, so
Really?
I cut off at 200 meters, and I'm like, "Done, don't ask me
Yeah.
to do any more than that."
But you do a bunch. I mean, you train, like, all the time as far as, like, exercise, like CrossFit and shit like that
Yes,
too. So, I mean, you're it's not like you're not in shape. I mean,
I'm just
yeah, but
more
running shape is different, I know.
Yes, running shape is definitely different. I'm not an endurance girl. I am like power, explosive,
Hmm.
sprints. So me to be able to breathe at a high level for more than 2 to 6 minutes is like an act of God. So
Yeah. Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah. Yeah, that's God, I know. How much do you squat? Do you think you can squat more than I can?
so
If you
not
had to
right now.
guess?
Not right now. I am on this like rehabilitation. I lost a lot of muscle the last maybe year and a half. I
Yeah.
kinda went on this, like, weight loss program, and, when you're trying I put it this way, I've been bulking since 2018 because of the fire service. So I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
more stacked than, like, thin, and then I got to the point where, like, "Alright, the bulking, needs to be officially over."
Yeah.
So so I really started, trying to lean out, and with that, you lose muscle. So now I'm trying to
Yeah.
rebuild, and I'm probably as far as like a one rep max, maybe like 185.
Oh, okay. What
Yeah,
was, like, the most you've ever been able to do?
280.
It's pretty damn good.
280 at 105, 145 pounds as myself. So yeah.
Jesus.
That's yeah, it's pretty much almost double my body weight, so
God, if I tried to squat double my body weight, my kneecaps would shoot across the room. Like,
yeah, I don't recommend that then. Don't do
I
it.
mean, there's like, I'm
Make
trying to
yourself
do the math in my head, and it's a hell of a number. So, yeah, that is fucking wild. Yeah,
yeah.
that's and then, yeah, doing the fire service is crazy too. Like, what made you wanna do that?
So, it was always something I wanted to do, like, back in 2007. Actually, maybe like 2008. I was always obsessed with like the wildland fires in Los
Mhm.
Angeles. So I would chase the fire like
Yeah, yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much ever since I lived up there, like in 2005 onward. And then finally, when I was married to my first ex-husband, I was like, I think gonna try the fire academy and try to get a fire job. And he's like, you know what? I'd be pissed if you showed up to save me at a fire and you had to drag me out. And
What?
yeah, I'm like, you're a dick.
Well,
So
no wonder look, I mean, not to get into your personal life, but no wonder he's the first
it's,
ex.
oh
I
yeah,
mean, my
oh
god,
yeah.
let me tell you something. If I lived in your area and I found out you were a firefighter, I would be burning my house down right now. Yeah, are you kidding me? No, there ain't no.
Granted, at that time, I was nowhere near an athlete. I had never really like religiously worked out or even knew
Yeah,
what to do in a traditional gym. So maybe at that time, not a good idea, but like you can train. So
yeah.
after my second ex-husband, I told him just before I filed for divorce, I told him, I think I'm going to start doing CrossFit. He's like, what? What do you think? You're like an athlete or something? And I'm like,
What the hell is
yeah,
what are you doing
that
with
was
these
how I
dudes
was
that don't
dealing with it.
support you like that?
Everybody wanted to piss in my cornflakes, and I was just not
Yeah,
like,
not in a
so
good way. Yeah, yeah, that's
no, no.
no, that's crazy.
So
No, fuck
when,
that.
yeah, so when we got divorced, I'm like, I'm gonna show him, and then I
Yeah,
started CrossFit, then everything changed. I was like, I learned how capable we can turn our bodies from being not capable in such a short time, just
yeah.
going 2 to 3 times a week. Even not like I wasn't even trying to I was at that time when I first started, I was just trying to make sure I could survive with my kids if the zombie apocalypse came. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
was watching The Walking Dead. I'm like, I would die. I
Oh,
would die.
yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah. Oh, I
no.
wouldn't stand a chance.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I need to be able to be able to football carry my kids, because they were young at that time. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I need to be able to carry them in my arms like that and then bolt up a hill. And I was like watching all these end of the world movies, and maybe, it was a little far fetched to think that was the motivation. But yeah,
Look, whatever gets you there, it doesn't matter.
right.
As long as
And
you get from A to B, it doesn't matter.
yeah, exactly. And then in 2007, I'm sorry, in 2017, when the Route 91 mass shooting happened in
Yeah.
Las Vegas, that's when I said, like, screw everything else. I'm dropping everything I'm doing in real estate because I was
Mhm.
already retired from the industry at that point. I'm going to drop everything I was doing, and I got my EMT certification. And then I went to fire school, got my paramedic certification, spent 3 years getting all my education done, and then got hired within 2 months of completing everything. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, it was
Yeah, that's so badass.
it's fucking the hardest shit I've ever done in my life. Oh my god. And I
Oh, yeah.
gotta be really good at everything, or at least try to over exceed the minimum standard just so because I knew the odds were against me, like already a female,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then like having the background, the history.
Right, that's what I was kinda wondering, like, how does that play a part in it? 'Cause
Oh,
it has to play a part in anything you do, and I'm not saying necessarily, like, in a negative way, because I think it's fucking awesome, but, like, is it hard to pursue things out of the porn industry, like, because
absolutely.
yeah, it has to be, which, I
I
mean,
think
fucking sucks, it's dumb that it's that way, but
I've
yeah,
had more difficulty actually in, real estate than the fire service, honestly.
that doesn't surprise me at all,
Yeah.
actually.
I had a
Yeah.
lot of people, a lot of, like, fanboys, like, just time wasters,
Yes.
even people that got psycho on me because I found out that they had completely fabricated their proof of funds, and then
You're right.
then they're like, threatening my children and all that, like, I'm like, "Okay, this is done."
Yeah.
Alright, like
That's so fucked. But I mean, it's not a surprise, which is the shitty part of it really is that it's kinda almost expected out of people because there's so many fucking douchebags out
it
there,
just
but
brings the inner child in guys. That's how I just,
yeah.
any regard for, how you would normally treat or even speak to a lady is out the door because just seen me take loads to the face and all this shit. So it's like
Yeah.
they think there's no filter needed.
Yeah, well, I know, and that's what's so fucked because it's just a job. I mean, and it's a persona in a sense. I mean, I don't mean that in a negative way or anything, but it is
Well,
like it's
I
not
know you're right now. For some
you.
people, yes, but like for me, like Eva is Nicole. Nicole is my real name. Nicole
Right,
is
right.
Eva. Like I only changed my name because I was told to, and I was like fresh off the bus, 18-year-old. And I'm like, all right, I guess that's what people
Yeah.
do. So
But I mean, yeah, I don't mean necessarily like a persona like you're faking anything, but like it is like a I don't know how to explain it. Like
I call
it's
it
not completely you, like it's not you in the private sense. Like you still have your own private life, your private world that doesn't need to be looked at the same way, or you may
not
not
like I
want
break
looked at
out
the
into
same
like a gang bang or anything like that randomly.
way.
Like some people actually believe that. I'm
Fingers
like, are you
crossed.
out of your
Yeah.
mind? Like, are you kidding me? That's a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Well, I mean, I do have a birthday coming up occasionally.
Oh, well, then noted.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I would make it a reverse gangbang because it'd be kind of weird if it was just like all guys for your birthday.
Yeah, actually, now that you
Don't
mention it,
be fixing, okay? Reverse gangbang that shit.
yeah, see, I hadn't really thought that through, nearly enough. Like, even in my wildest fantasies, I'm just one of many, which is I don't know what that says about me, but
Oh,
my
Steve,
god.
you're
Yeah.
good.
Well, no, yes, a good old reversal, a switcheroo will,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, that's no, I mean, it yeah, I'm sure that people there are probably obviously a lot of people who are very nice to you and, like, fans who, are
Yeah.
gentlemanly and all that, but I'm sure you get a lot of creepy fucking people.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of funny. The third day on shift when I started my new fire job, obviously a probie, which is probationary
Yeah.
firefighter. They there was a guy that works on the EMS side that was stationed at my station, totally different entity. And we were all talking, chatting in the common area, and he just came up to me and smacked my ass in front of my whole crew and everything. I'm like, really? Day
Mm,
3? Like I could not just stay under the radar. Like this shit just had to happen.
that
Really?
that, like that makes me so fucking angry
Oh,
hearing shit
my
like
my
that.
crew, I didn't wanna cause problems, but my crew, they ended up, like, reporting in.
Good.
Yeah, and he was like the guy who did it, he had done it several times, was, like, inappropriate with other
Okay.
there was, like, he was a repeat offender, so
Yeah. I don't and I'm no angel by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't understand that mentality at
it's
all.
the no filter. They almost get, like, spastic about it, like
Yeah, I mean, but to be, like, just openly, like, I mean, basically assault someone, like, it's just it doesn't cross my mind.
I just could not believe it.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a crazy thing to do to someone,
In
like,
front of everyone, like, come on.
yeah, there's, like, a
I'm like
sense of entitlement that comes with that I think I just don't have. Like, I think I have an okay amount of confidence, sometimes maybe a little ego, but not to that extreme where I think I can just, like, do shit to people. Like,
We didn't last much longer with the
well,
counting, so
yeah, what a shock. That's so fucking crazy. So do you do because obviously, do CrossFit, work out like a motherfucker. Do you do things for like mental exercise? Like, do you
that is my
read,
mental
meditate?
exercise. That is definitely
Really?
that is like, I don't meditate, I don't do yoga, I
You don't
don't
stare at the sun for extended periods of
no,
time?
no, I don't walk barefoot and sun gaze and do all that.
Jesus.
The only thing that I can honestly say that I do, that I have done, in a therapeutic way and a medicinal way, is ayahuasca.
Really?
I'm a firm believer that everyone at least should once do ayahuasca, and
Wow.
chances are they will do it again because the amount of work that is achieved in just one ceremony is like 10 years worth of therapy.
So did you go to a jungle or like one of the retreats here or like in the US, we'll say?
So I went to a local spot in Joshua Tree and
Oh, of
joined a
course.
tribe. I was, yeah, and put in a tribe, and that was what made it so it was completely legal. And had a
Yeah.
shaman and had guardians taking care of me, and went several times. Sometimes I did like 2 ceremonies in a weekend. Like I've done it
Yeah.
5 times. So it was definitely just imagine getting a visual map quest. I don't know if you're this old.
I know MapQuest. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm 30, but I have the
So we would
mind
have
of
to
a 70-year-old, so
right, so we would have to, like, print out our map quest before we would
oh,
go
yeah.
anywhere, and
Yeah.
I remember in one of my ceremonies, my journey after the purging period was over and I can
Mhm.
actually do like the work. I got from Mother Ayahuasca, Grandmother Ayahuasca, like a map quest printout in my brain of conversations I need to have with certain people. What real estate brokerage I had to work for, whether I was going to move from Orange County to Los Angeles, like where I was going to live, all this stuff, and it was all written out like a map quest printout. And I remember before this, someone had told me make sure you bring a blank notebook because you might have to write stuff down.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to write stuff down. And it was completely dark and I couldn't see. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm like trying to document what I'm seeing, I really hope my pen is working. I really hope my pen is working. And thank
Yeah.
Jesus that my pen worked because I ended up, that was my guide. And I ended up doing everything that I was told to do. And I actually need another ceremony. And
That's
yeah.
look, I mean, I have horrible anxiety, like massive panic attacks. Actually, between us girls, had one right before this started. Just a I just have them like all the fucking
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And so it's been a thought on my mind of just like I'm so terrified to do it. I'm terrified to do
Oh,
any kind of
of course.
hallucinogen or anything.
Yeah.
But I'm at a point where I'm just like my fear of that is lowering compared to just like how frustrated I am with like being such a fucking anxious person. So I
Well,
think I might do it at some
definitely.
point.
I definitely recommend, and it's used for all kinds of reasons. Like, when I would do it, it would vary from like 10 people having a ceremony at the same time, a journey at the same time as you, and to like 40 people all at once,
Mhm.
and all walks of life, anywhere from soldiers with PTSD because we were right by 29 Palms, which is one of the
Mhm.
military bases right there, to like older like senior men who all their friends are dying and they just cannot cope.
Right, right.
I remember there was an elderly Asian woman. I'm like, you're out of place. Like I would have thought there'd be more hippies and all this, kind of stuff. And
Yeah,
whatever her intentions were, she got the work done. So
yeah. So what is the sensation like? Because that's what always confuses me about like, because obviously I've been high a lot, but I've never done like LSD, acid, or anything like that. So I don't know what that actually feels like. So what's the actual feeling of in your body of
So,
ayahuasca?
the type of ceremonies that I did was like a sound ceremony. So it's induced by like musical instruments,
Mhm.
and I don't even know what they call it. It's that big long horn that you see that has like that deep vibrational sound to it.
Didgeridoo?
Yes.
Yeah.
At one point, they start busting that out, and we're all singing songs, and I don't even know what the words of these songs are. And I remember all of a sudden when I start kind of seeing uh, through a kaleidoscope is the best way I can describe it.
Okay.
And that's induced by that vibration we're singing, and all of a sudden I know all the words that's like in a different language, and I'm like, I've never even heard this song before, but I'm speaking. It was insane. I don't even know. It was like I was part of the actual ceremony, and
Yeah.
it was when the kaleidoscope turned into the purging aspect. It was almost like a lot of like dripping muddy sounds, and like mud falling from the ceiling, but like coming up from the ground. It was like a lot of weird, and then bubbling, and then the puking started coming, and they give you little buckets, and the
Yeah.
guardians like switch them out, and you don't even realize it because you don't see what's in front of you anymore. That's gone.
Okay.
You're like, when someone would kind of start trying to talk to me, they would it was almost like then I kind of get brought into a fishbowl, and I'm looking out of the fishbowl,
Mhm.
and then I bounce back in, and then it turns into like snot and tears, and they give you bandanas so you can like wipe all of your bodily fluids, and they tell you don't fart. If you feel like you're gonna fart, don't do it. Just find a toilet or something,
Oh,
because
because 'cause you're gonna shit yourself?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we've all been there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's an adult star, Alexis Fox, who's done
Uh-huh.
hundreds of these, and she would wear like Depends because she was so scared that she would shit herself. She never
Yeah.
did, but
Yeah.
but I just thought that was genius. I'm like,
Oh,
what?
I yeah. I mean, look, I'll be honest, if I have, like, a good Taco Bell session,
That would do
I'm already there, so, yeah, I'm gonna have to
it. The
double
odds are
layer those
against you in that.
Depends. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 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 I might just strap a quilt around me.
Right.
If it's yeah.
Like double up on the Depends.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 I'm triple bagging for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, yeah,
So
see,
yeah, so
that's
once
but but the feeling of your body, like, is there, like, a so I like, is there 'cause the closest thing I can think of, like, what I've ever done, and this is obviously nothing even on the same level, but one time I took way too many edibles, and got, like, just this over like, my whole body, like, tingly, like when your
right.
foot's asleep, that,
Yeah,
like,
and the
pins and
pins and
needles kinda
needles.
feeling? Right,
Yes.
right. So is it something kinda like that? Or
Uh,
or do you feel nothing body-wise? Like
Sometimes it can be euphoric. So every journey is different. So there was one time where I didn't like, once I got past the purging side, then I got put in like on a shore on a beach. And what was normally like the light at the top of the canopy tent turned into this beautiful sun, and it was just super peaceful, and I got like the best rest of my life, and I didn't really
mhm.
understand. I almost felt like unfulfilled, like what is this all about? And 3 days later my mom died. So it kind of,
Jesus.
yeah, it was almost like it was grandmother ayahuasca's way of preparing me, like letting me rest to prepare for what was coming next.
Yeah.
And
Fuck.
yeah, it's hardcore shit. And then even like another, like the first time I went was because it was on the birth date of my fiance that committed suicide.
Yeah.
And it was like 14 years later, and
Mhm.
like I need closure, or at least just want to see him, and like, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I would get to
Right.
see him or anything, but I just wanted something that, like, to help me get through it. And I didn't get to see him. And I remember when I got past the purging phase, I got put in a room that was completely blacked out, but there was like a nightstand with a lamp on it. And that was the only thing that was illuminating. But it was like an endless room,
Yeah.
And I remember hearing a voice, Grandma Ayahuasca, tell me that I didn't have to be the saddest girl with the biggest smile anymore. I could be happy. It was okay to be happy, and
Yeah.
that he's happy for me, and that's all he wants me to be. And when I woke up, I was like, "You're fucking right," like you are. God damn it!
Yeah, that is
It's
damn.
wild. It's so wild, and every time you go in there with like, with new intentions and just needing the guidance, and even just people go in there with helping needing help with their addictions, or bipolar, or any other kind of mental disorders. Like even, there was girls with body dysmorphia and
Yeah.
anorexia that were going in there having journeys with us, and we all talk about it, and then we
Yeah.
reflect
Yeah.
afterwards because we stay the night, we reflect afterwards, and then we have our closing ceremony the next day. And there was actually one girl, holy shit, there was one girl who God, you couldn't, it was the middle of the ceremony. You could not tell if she was getting gangbanged or giving birth. Okay. And they ended up having to like 4-point carry her, the guardians, out of
Mhm.
the area because it was disrupting everybody else. And it literally sounded like Tory Lane. Okay. And I was trying to like leave the business. And I'm like, I didn't come here to listen to Tory Lane's fucking voice. Okay. Getting gangbanged. What the fuck?
Oh my god. See, that's what I'm
We
thinking
just
I
stayed
might be
friends.
doing.
So it's like,
Yeah. So that's what I worry about is having just like a full on freak out.
but she didn't
But
remember it the next day. She had no idea.
okay.
She had
Gotcha.
no
Got
idea what
well,
happened.
that's more comforting for
Yeah,
sure.
she had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have to just, you know, just do it. Cause it
Right.
yeah.
And
That's so interesting.
they have big retreats out, like, in Costa Rica, and
Yeah, yeah.
there's a place I wanna check out one day called Rhythmia that,
Mhm.
it's like the full experience, and they put you on, like, some really clean, like, diet right beforehand and throughout, and you're there for, like, 5 days a week or whatever, so you do multiple ceremonies, and that's when, like, the real work gets done because you're backing it up. I got
Yeah.
more benefits when I did 2 nights in a row than if I waited a couple months in between, so
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. That's so when do you think you'll do it again?
next
Just
opportunity. Yeah, it's a
yeah,
matter of timing really, and
yeah,
yeah, the schedule
yeah,
still
yeah.
makes yeah.
That's I mean, yeah, it's so fascinating. I've been very fascinated by it for a long time of just like trying anything really because I meditate and do all that kind of shit and it works temporarily. Like
Right.
in the moment, it feels great. And then, like, I did it, like this morning, like meditated, and I felt amazing for about 15 minutes. And
Yeah,
then
it's kinda like
right
putting
back
a
to
Band-Aid onto
it's,
something,
yeah, which I
rather than
know that
solving the root like, core problems,
right.
like, where the deep-seated stuff that you may not even realize is a lingering issue, but, ayahuasca and honestly, like, I had done psychedelics prior to that. So,
Mhm.
but microdosing, I was always I preferred microdosing over drinking alcohol, honestly. So whenever people would go
Yeah.
out, I just take a half a tab and then, and then that's that. And I actually thought, and still think that microdosing has made me strong, like not stronger, smarter, more intellectually capable of learning, and it did expand my brain, and I think that actually helped me get through EMT school and
Yeah.
paramedic school, and then like working on my degree and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
So
it does enhance, like, your mental acuity, like, being able to focus on minor details for and, like,
mhm.
see them for a longer period of time than what most people does. It, like, enhances reflex and
Yes.
reaction time, so it makes sense. I mean, it
Yeah.
makes sense how it help because it's, like, similar in a sense to, like, how Adderall does that to you, like because
Anyway, yeah.
Adderall will I mean, obviously, Adderall is a horrible fucking thing to take, but it does do
Unless you
that
like
kind of
math.
yeah, no, yeah. Oh, yeah, I know, which boy, I mean, it's amazing denial of some people whenever you try to tell them that, who take Adderall all the time. You're like, it's just like like clinical meth. And they're like,
Right.
no, it isn't. It's got a different chemical in it. Like, yeah,
I
I
can give
know
you a
that.
really good example of how fucked up Adderall is.
Mhm.
So my ex-boyfriend, we had probably been broken up for like 6 months. I had gotten word that he got hooked on meth. Okay,
Yeah.
so I contacted him like, "Hey, like I care about you, and I'm, and I would hate to be a hypocrite and be like, get off meth, but considering that I was on Adderall, so I was like, I'll get off on Adderall, you get off on meth, and we'll do this together, okay?"
Yeah.
He was able to get off of meth like fairly easily without too many issues. And I was off my ass, unable to function
Mm,
for probably I would be sleeping for like 20 hours out of the 4-hour day, a 24
yeah.
hour day, you know, and
Jesus.
just drug myself out just to work out and feed myself and then go straight to bed out for like 2-3 months. It was bad. And I
God.
was like, "What?" And I had Adderall on me still. I'm like, "I'm not addicted to it." It was just like chemical
Yes.
withdrawal, you know? And I was
Well,
like, "Oh,
yeah,
shit."
because how it's meant to work is meant to stay in your system. Like, that's the whole point. That's one of the I mean, there's a lot of things that do separate it from meth, but that's one of the big things
Right,
is meth stays in your system for a decently short amount of time, but it's a massive dose at that moment, whereas Adderall is supposed to be, an extended release
right,
version of that, which it's like the difference between taking actual heroin and then, like, an opioid. Like,
right,
they are basically the same, but
right.
not really. Like, there's yeah, which yeah, that's yeah, I drinking was the
It
only big
totally backfired on me. So I'm like, "This is fine, you know,
yeah.
whatever." And then I'm like, "Ugh," you know?
Yeah, it's almost like you shouldn't trust the, pharmaceutical world, which
Mm, mm, mm,
yeah,
mm.
I know. Well, yeah.
Go
Neither
figure.
yeah, God. So, when did you retire for the first time?
So there's been a couple of times I retired, but
Okay.
mainly because that was I was giving birth, I was pregnant, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get in front of the camera for that. So,
That's reasonable. Yeah.
and then I legitimately retired in 2016. I came back
Yeah.
for maybe like a few months, and the business had completely changed in a negative way. Budgets had been cut,
Yeah.
piracy had completely destroyed production companies. Anybody was doing anything for like next to nothing,
Mhm.
and I said no more. When a great company that I used to shoot for all the time said, "Hey, I can only pay you this amount," and it was less than the first day I got into the industry, and I'm like, "All right." I'd already gotten my real estate license back in 2014, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna just bury myself in that shit. So,
That's so crazy because it seems like porn is so much bigger now than ever. Like, as far as the amount of it that there
well,
is, which maybe is probably the problem.
and the amount of money that can be made is
Right.
next level rather than, and that's kind of, that's why I ended up leaving the fire service, was because this is dumb. All right. Like, I love being a firefighter and I love being a paramedic and I love the great work I was doing,
Yeah.
but my daughters are expensive. And
Yeah.
they being gone every third day, being a single mom, like I thought I had trained them to be independent women, but they ended up being too independent, and they're like 13 and 15 going on 30. And
Yeah.
my youngest was starting to get into trouble, and I put her into a boarding school, and you could not afford boarding school as a firefighter. So I like
Yeah.
got to the point where my savings was like next to gone. And I'm like, all right, well, I already did all the hard work of building a brand
Yeah.
and a fan base. So what am I doing? Like might
Yeah.
as well just cash out before I'm too old and nobody wants to pay to see me get nailed.
I to be honest, I doubt that's something you need to be worrying about. I mean, you could be 70 and I'm subscribing,
Well,
for sure.
us MILFs are gonna have to eventually shoot GILF stuff. So
Look, a GILF today is much different than a GILF
right.
10, 15 years ago. I mean, there
This
are
is
some
so right. This is
God, there are some women that I've seen who are like around 60, and you look at me like, how the fuck is this possible? Like, when I was a kid, like my grandmother's friends or whatever who were like in their early 50s looked like they
rough.
looked like the crypt keeper. Like,
Right?
and it's like they were like, and now looking back, they were like 52,
Tales
53.
from the crypt.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, they looked horrible. They looked
God,
like
that just
old
aged
ventriloquist dummies. Like they were I mean, it was terrible. Like most of them looked like Albert Einstein, but just with like a slightly smaller mustache.
right.
Like, and now, I mean, my God, like you see somebody, like I'll see somebody and be like, yeah, they're probably like about maybe early 40s. Like, and then they're like, no, I'm like 58. And like, how the
Yeah.
fuck is that possible?
You know what it is? It's money. They
It
have
is
money.
money. But it's like something like over time, people just also
Started
just
caring more, I
yeah, they
think.
start caring more and they just don't age as fast, which
Mhm.
I mean, like how old are you?
I'm 39.
Yeah.
The
See, like,
last year of my 30s, I better make it fucking count, man.
I would I mean, it sounds like you are. If I
I'm off to a good start.
yeah, yeah, that's like, cause not trying to just, like, kiss your ass or anything, but, like, I could see you aging, like, very gracefully. Like, you know
Thank
what I
you.
mean? Like,
It's the Botox.
Botox yeah, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's just so fascinating to me, like,
Right, it's
how it
crazy.
works. I mean, the porn industry, obviously, just from, like, you know, say, like, 2007, 2008 versus now has to just be so different. But OnlyFans, like, so what do you think of, like, of the idea of, like, an OnlyFans? Because obviously you have one, like,
Mhm.
but do you think that that is kind of the saving grace for it?
Yeah, I think, OnlyFans has allowed the stars to now finally be in charge of their destiny in a
Yeah,
sense, where before we were always at the beck and call of the agents,
right.
and if we pissed off one agent, you're blacklisted,
Yeah, there's
and
a
that's it.
bureaucracy to it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
super gnarly and totally unfair. And, and there was so much exploitation back then. And now the only person that's gonna exploit me is me, So
Right, right, which is the best way to be exploited.
right.
Exploiting yourself's
Exactly.
a fun time for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's for my own selfish reasons. Come on
exactly,
now.
which
So
there's nothing wrong with that at
yeah,
all.
so really it all boils down to how far we want to take it
Yeah,
and making some smart moves. And the thing that I have been living under this fire service rock for the last 5 years, 6 years
mhm,
actually, that I had no idea how the business had evolved when COVID hit. Because I had an OnlyFans up until like 2018,
yeah,
2019, something, and it was bullshit. It was like, oh, I'm not making money. This is
yeah,
dumb. And then when I said, you know what, I can't have this if I'm going to seriously do the fire thing, because they're just going to look at it and be like, nope. So I,
yeah,
I
right, right.
deleted it right before COVID. I'm like,
Damn.
ugh.
Yeah, that's God, what a horrible timing.
I was so, like, determined. I'm like, "I don't want anything fucking up my shit." So I got rid of my social media accounts that I couldn't completely clean up because I had all these porn-oriented, like, followers and all this shit, and it's just like,
Yeah,
and I wish I would've kept that because now I'm starting
yeah.
everything from scratch, and
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna build that shit back so fast.
everything's so analytical now too. It's all about the data and da da da. And I'm like,
Yes, and then
what?
getting in an algorithm and yeah, which
I'm like,
that's what I had to try to learn because like I didn't think any of this shit was ever gonna work out. Like I was just doing all this stuff for fun and like which I still am, but I started having to like actually pay attention to like what time of day I'm posting stuff and all this kind of stuff, which
Mhm.
I mean, it makes a difference though, like whenever you do know like how to do it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, but you've had a name for yourself for a long time. So you're not really starting from scratch in
No,
a
just
full
the
sense.
content side of things,
Right, right. But yeah,
'cause
yeah.
my old webmaster, he was my best friend, and,
Mhm.
he had all my content, I thought it was safe and sound, but then when he died, gone. I have no like,
Oh,
I was
damn.
told, one of the owners of OnlyFans ended up buying because he was helping them originally, like, kick off the site, the platform,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, "It would've been nice to have that right about now."
Yeah. Yeah, I would say.
But the good thing is now I can honestly say that everything on my OnlyFans is absolutely brand new, straight
Yeah.
from the last since like since February, really.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well,
so it's
that's
just real, it's real brand new content, fresh,
yeah.
everything.
Which
So
that's actually better in a way, I
yeah,
think. I mean, obviously it sucks that you lost all that, but it's better to just because everybody knows who you are. It's not like you're just somebody that this is day one. So it's
exactly.
better for you to have all brand new content because that's what people
Yes.
would want to see anyway.
And that's what they're getting. That is what they're
Hell
getting.
yeah. Do you
Mhm.
do? So I ask this question to anyone who has OnlyFans because it's so fucking fascinating to me. Do you do customs?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
my favorite thing to do.
Okay, so what is the weirdest thing you've ever been asked to do?
In a custom, whew, just happened actually.
Okay.
This guy wanted a workout set. Okay, like I was
Mhm.
working out, and he said that he wanted photos as if I had gotten kicked in the crotch.
As if you had been kicked in the crotch?
As if I have been kicked in the crotch.
How does that work? I mean, do you just
It was really fun to shoot. Okay, put it that way.
yeah. I mean, what is he saying, like, just, like, making a face like you got kicked in the
Yeah,
crotch?
like
Okay, because I thought he was talking about just a picture of, of the goods and just being like, "Well, how would you know if a woman got kicked in the crotch
so it would
just
be
by
like an
looking at it?"
action shot where like I'm like, like
What a weird thing to want.
right. It's and then that, and I would say like putting like balloons underneath like a white t-shirt and make it look like I have even like bigger, ginormous tits. And then even like rubbing balloons on my body, something about that sound is like gets people off. And
I
then
That's one that I try to be a pretty open fella, and I'm open to a lot of things. Well, pretty much try just about anything. I feel like I'm not in a position to be saying no too much. Um, but the balloons thing is so weird to me.
and I've
Like,
done it before in scenes too, where like
yeah.
Rachel Starr and I did a scene together in England where we
Mhm.
literally did a girl scene in a room filled from like probably hundreds of balloons. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Hundreds of balloons in just a regular bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're just like rubbing it all over our bodies, making the sound. And it's just like,
I mean,
okay.
what the fuck does that do for anyone? Like,
I don't know. But
you know
I've also sold my sneakers, and they want it to be the most more nasty pair of sneakers so
fuck.
they can smell it.
Look, I am gonna kiss your ass a little bit here. You're a very beautiful person, obviously. I hate to say this, there ain't a single ounce of me that wants to smell your sneakers.
I don't wear socks either, so ever.
Oh god.
So
What
he
the
probably loved those pairs.
I mean, no offense, but disgusting. That is
I just don't have stinky feet, and I like to slip my shoes on and off. And
Are
I
you saying that, hold on though. Is this one of those things where, like, if you make an annoying noise, if you're the one making it, it's not annoying to you, but it is to everyone else? Are you sure that your feet don't stink?
oh, I know they don't stink. I when I was younger, they used to stink, like, when I was, like, in high school, and my dad
Yeah,
used to make me leave my shoes outside because I couldn't bring them because they would stink up the whole house. It's nothing even close to that at all, and I, like
I gotcha. Because mine don't either. And I've always wondered, like, is it just me, like, used to it or something? But now I realize it's because, yeah, my feet look like a fucking like a dried up rock, but
oh my
it
god,
has a lot to do with it. But yeah, that's
quite
I
the
mean,
analogy right there.
well, I also wear only like Chuck Taylors, which
Okay.
are I mean, they were obviously made in the '50s when people didn't have feelings. And yeah, it's the worst thing you could wear, especially if you're just a big old son of a bitch like I
That's
am.
funny.
Yeah, my God, that's amazing. Yeah, the balloon thing's a weird one. What's okay? So coming back out of retirement, for like a big, big comeback, are there any things that you never did back in the day that you want to do now? Because obviously you have a no list at some point, right? Like things you're like, I don't do this or whatever.
Yeah,
Or
I can tell you a no list that I don't think I could ever bring myself to this.
uh,
I don't know if I can pick a guy.
why?
You know what? I had a really bad, even with ass licking on a guy. I had a bad incident off camera with a boyfriend, actually the fiance that passed away,
Yeah.
and he was like face fucking me, and he sat down on my chest, and he went to dip and face fuck me some more. And I was wearing like this little, I will never forget, this little blue baby doll little get up or whatever, and he ended up leaving skid marks all down my chest. So
Damn. He road
I got
dogged you.
ruined by that. Okay, and
Damn.
maybe
Isn't
there's
that a
an ayahuasca
Cleveland
ceremony for that.
isn't that a Cleveland steamer? Or am I wrong about it? I think it's some
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I just know that no fucking thank you. So
Let me tell you, I'm with you. I would never I wouldn't
that
wish
was when I
that.
was like 19, so it kind of fucking ruined man ass for me. I licked ass twice since then, and it was on scene, and I think it was Eric Everhard and Ben English, and that that was it. And I don't think I could ever, like, luckily they were clean, but still, like, then to peg somebody, or and I love my strap-ons. Don't get me wrong. I love pegging. I love fucking chicks with strap-ons,
Who
especially in the
doesn't?
ass.
Yeah,
Especially in the ass.
same.
But
Yeah.
something about the man ass that I just
Yeah. It's see, to me, pegging seems like it would be a lot easier to do though, because it's not as intimate.
Yeah, I can understand that, but, I also feel like it would have to be one of those situations where I have absolutely 0 respect for that person,
Oh,
and then
I'm sure you could find
I would
plenty of people to do
yeah,
that too.
plenty, and then I would brutalize the ass, but it's such a for me, it's like a very, demasculating thing,
Yes. Yeah.
and I'm a firm believer that men should be masculine.
Yeah.
And even though I am very much an alpha, I am like a top from the bottom, okay? Like, I
Okay.
still have to be in the submissive position, even though
Yeah.
I'm telling you how I need it done?
That's that's the perfect way to be, I think. Because like for me, so yeah, like pegging is off the table. And I'm not judging people to do it, do
No,
whatever makes
yeah,
you
by
happy.
all means, do
But
your thing.
for me, like yeah, I'm not trying to be like demasculated ever. Which I mean I do it, to myself quite a
Right,
bit. So I don't need somebody else doing it to me. But like yeah, I believe in being like I like being dominant, like a dominant person.
right.
And I mean I'm kind of a like I like control about a lot of things.
Mhm.
Not to like a bad level, but I like things my way and all that shit.
Right.
But yeah, I like being dominant, but I don't want the person that I'm with to be just massively submissive either. I want it to be like I was talking about this the other day, but I want it to be like a battle. Like a battle where both
Yes, a
people
tug of
win.
war. Like,
Yes, but
yes,
where both people win.
yes,
That's the
yes,
way to be.
yes, yes!
Yeah, see, most people don't think because they think that, like, if one person's dominant, then the other person has to be submissive so that it balances out. I don't no, 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 no. I wanna be, like, dominant and have, like, control and do, like, what I wanna do, but I
Mhm.
also want that person to be, like, completely free and not, like, degraded, if that makes sense. Like,
Yes.
degrading stuff bothers me a lot. Like
For me, it's like to a certain extent. There's and I've done a lot of degrading scenes that,
yeah.
like, most of them were when I was really young, and I didn't know what I was signing up for until I got there. I'm like, "Oh, this is meat holes. Fuck. This was the fucking website I was told never to shoot for, and here I
Yeah.
am, and all these guys are rolling in now. I'm so screwed. All right. Own it, own it, own it, own it." Okay. Like, don't be
Jesus.
the victim. Don't be the victim. And then they ended up having me come back, but it was me against me and the main guy. I forgot what they called him. I don't even know if he's still alive. Um, we brought another girl, and we were degrading them at that point.
Well,
So
that's pretty fun, I
yeah,
think.
so I took it
I'd
well
be down for
enough where
that,
they had
yeah.
me coming back and play the opposite role. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. See, yeah, I'd be down for like a little like a tag team action on
Mhm,
another person. Like
mhm.
then I might get in there, but if it's just me and a girl, I can't be like fully degrading like that. Cuz I'm attracted to confidence. Like I'm
Yeah,
attracted to a type A personality. So like cuz I'm not
that
necessarily
makes sense.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exhibit A. But yeah, because I don't know if I'm necessarily like a fully type A person. I'm like a decently shy. Like, I mean,
Mm,
I know who I am and all that kind of stuff, but I
mhm.
don't. I'm pretty like I usually try to describe myself kind of like I'm basically like a human turtle, where like every once in a while I'll come out of my shell to say something like real fucking weird or random, and then right back into the shell I go. Like that's kind of
Make
my
your
mentality.
appearance. You've been
Exactly.
heard.
Exactly. I pop my little head out and say something weird and then boop, right back in. And that's how I like to be. But
That's
I
awesome.
like being with a person who is always on, like a type A, knows what the fuck they want, like
Mhm.
confident as shit. Like that's what I like. So sexually, it's the same way. Like I don't want somebody who just wants to be like completely humiliated or something. Cause I
No.
don't no, I
That sounds
like it.
like daddy issues, or some kinda, like, craziness
Yeah.
that
Tell me
they
about it.
yeah, they need to have a word with themselves and figure it out, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, like, I want it to be, yeah, like a fight, a fun
Yeah.
fight,
The fun
but,
like,
like
yeah, like, they can get fun, that's for sure, yeah.
oh, yeah. Yeah, my god. What are some red flags to you in a person? It doesn't have to be, like, even, like, a sexual thing, I guess it could be, but, like, things that are just an automatic turn off.
I will get little hints of gaslighting, and I can spot that shit from a mile away.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Nope. Another red flag, double standards. The second you start pulling some double standards on me, later, I have no problems being by myself, okay? And
Yeah,
if it's not gonna be like a fair game across the board, then no fucking thank you.
but do you think so with that, though, do you think that being in porn and then being in a relationship that it makes that harder?
Absolutely, because my second ex-husband was like, he cheated on me and all that, and he's like, "Well, you
Yeah.
shoot porn." I'm like, "I shot porn, okay, because I was
Yeah.
pregnant when I was cheated on, okay?" Oh,
Right.
I found out that he was having an affair a day before I gave birth, okay?
Jesus.
Yeah, so he pulled up,
God.
"Oh, well, you lived a double life, so why can't I?
But
And
that's
you shot porn, so what's the difference?" I'm like, "First of all, the difference is this is a job. I'm not having an emotional affair or a physical
right.
affair with this person. If you want to have a one night stand, I can feel way better about that than you playing house with
Right.
a girl. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
and
see,
then not
'cause
know about me. And
right. But he knew obviously, he knew that you did porn beforehand.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So
That was
that
his
that argument's bullshit. I mean, that
bull.
argument is bullshit no matter what, but it's especially bullshit to say like, "Oh, you used to do something." If you used to do something that I know about, then I can't use that on you. Like, it'd be different if you hid it from the
You
person
signed up
and
for this shit, okay?
exactly. Like, hiding it from someone and then they find out later, that
Different.
is a little bit different, but
Mhm.
I still it's a job. Like, all it comes down to is that it's a fucking job. Yeah, yeah, your job involves having sex with people.
Granted, like
Okay, and that can be
90% of the
weird.
guys I've worked with, I probably would fuck for free. So, like, there's that
Yeah.
factor too. So,
Well, yeah, yeah. But I just mean, like, you can't yeah, I think a lot of guys just can't handle that idea. Like, the idea
yeah,
that a person because they can't separate it. Like, I think a lot
no,
of guys can't, like, themselves separate the fact that you can have sex with someone and not have a fully emotional connection with that
I
person.
am there for the net. Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, I've had a lot of like off camera threesomes with like married couples and people in relationships because they know they can trust me because I don't want their fucking husband. I just want my nut. And I'm doing you a favor too, just like you're doing me a favor because you want to invite a friend. Okay. And
Mhm.
I want to have sex with no strings attached.
Yeah.
So perfect.
Yeah, it's weird that that's such a hard thing to bring up to most people, that you just wanna have sex with someone with no strings attached. Because most people are so fucking, like I mean, they look at sex obviously in a very serious way, which is understandable because if you're in a relationship with someone, then it should be
Right.
serious, but, like, you should also just be able to have sex with someone if you both wanna do it, and there not be something extra to it.
Exactly. I think it's a form of expression now than more than anything too, and I feel like it should be, and it is more socially, acceptable because look at we're like, listening to songs talking about, you know, this type of activities on the radio now.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, my kids are singing them, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Do
Well,
it.
you paved the way for that. You were blazing trails. God. So I have a few random questions for you if
Okay,
you
tell
want me to
me.
go into these. Okay. Uh, so who was your childhood celebrity crush?
Oh, well, I would have to say it would be I had a couple. So,
Okay.
obviously, like Leo, Leonardo DiCaprio,
Oh yeah.
ATT, Devin Sawa, all like the beat
Devin
bop
Sawa was a good
guys
one. Yeah, yeah.
and all that. But I had like this really weird obsession with Benicio del Toro.
I ain't nothing weird about that. Let me
That's
tell
like
you. Let me tell you. I mean, I am straight, despite what most people might think. But boy, I'd give it up for old Benicio del Toro. I tell you,
yeah, there was some time like whole obviously not in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, okay? But like
that's understandable. Yeah,
like something about like the usual suspects, that movie,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Snatch, and there was something weird. I don't know what
Oh
the
yeah,
fuck, but I like those. That I liked him a lot, and I was like, oh god,
yeah. Benicio del Toro is a good one. Like Traffic. Oh, you guys got
Traffic
Traffic is
was a
such a good
good one.
movie.
Oh my god, that
Yeah,
was such a good movie. I'm gonna
yeah.
have to watch that after this,
Oh
and
yeah.
bust out the wand.
Same. Yeah. Oh man, that's a good. I mean, especially for Catherine Zeta-Jones. So Catherine Zeta-Jones was definitely high up on my list too, and
Yes,
she's in Traffic. So I might have to.
yes,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
very good
I might
movie.
be right there with you. What was your first concert?
Hanson.
Jesus Christ, was it really? You know what? You know
I
what?
was so obsessed with Hanson. I have my own
Nah,
Hanson website, okay, called Sunny Sweet Hanson that I built with HTML back in the day, and it was it was like a beehive background, okay?
Jesus Christ.
My sister used to bootleg other concerts and sell them on, like, eBay and shit.
That's amazing. Let me tell you, Hanson does get a lot of shit, and I watched pretty recently, they did an acoustic version of MMMBop,
Yeah,
and it is incredible. That song is
they're very
so
talented.
amazing.
They are
Yeah,
actually
super
talented.
talented. Like, it's the same way with, and I'll stand by this until I die, Michael Bolton.
Mhm.
People shit on that son of a bitch so much. There isn't a person on this planet who wouldn't sell their soul to be able to sing like that man.
Right.
That man can God.
Every woman in that era would drop their panties for him, okay?
Guys too. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, yeah.
Thank
Oh,
God.
I'd kick my hands right off of, if I if Michael Bolton's singing it. And it's the same with like Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up. That motherfucker has all kinds of good songs.
Right.
Fuck all that stuff. But who is a band that most people like but you hate? Or artist, it doesn't have to be a
I'm
band.
Taylor Swift. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan.
God, I'm I almost just married you. Yeah,
Like, it literally makes
she
my ears wanna bleed when I listen to her bullshit.
it is the most. I hate being bored. So that's how I judge whether I like or dislike something like
Right.
movies, music.
Yeah.
It does this bore me? It doesn't matter who the director is, like all that kind of shit. Like, am I entertained watching this?
Yes.
There's not a single time where I've listened to Taylor Swift's music and thought, "Oh, this is exciting."
Mm. I'd rather
That's
listen to Demi Lovato. I like
oh,
her.
I would
She's
too.
an amazing singer, even though she kinda got a little weird and, thought some interesting things.
Look, crack will do it to you. Crack will make you real weird, real
Yeah.
quick.
So, but I'm glad she's found herself
Yes,
again
for sure.
but yeah, she's great as far as that type of artist.
Yeah,
I am a big Christina Aguilera. I like and I'm not saying that Taylor Swift is not talented.
for
I'm sure
sure.
she's a great songwriter, and she's definitely obviously appeals to the masses. But god
Right.
damn, I can't. I
She
just
don't appeal to me. I mean,
can't.
she appeals to the masses for sure, but I ain't one of them.
I
Like
would
I
hate to date her. Like,
oh my god. You know what? And I don't know if you care much about football or whatever, but I'm a Raiders fan, so I already hate the Kansas City Chiefs. I
right.
already hate Travis Kelsey more than pretty much anybody on the planet. And then as soon as I saw that, I was like, you know what? They deserve each other. They're
Yeah.
both fucking
That next
douchebags.
song after their breakup, oh, He better
God.
get some money out of that, or he'll
I think he's doing very well, with
now.
this arrangement because it's an arrangement.
Yes,
I don't
let's
care what anyone says. There
it's
ain't
done
no
wonders for the NFL, come on.
Oh, when you look at who Travis Kelce has been with before, and then you look at Taylor Swift, and I ain't trying to judge how Taylor Swift looks or anything, but
Right.
there's a difference,
Yes.
like there's a difference. Yeah,
The
that's a good
pockets are
one.
a lot deeper though.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, look, Oprah is one of the richest women on the planet, and I'll tell you what, I'd marry Oprah tomorrow. I mean, like,
I'd
and
have
I
her
wa
babies.
oh yeah, I wouldn't sign a prenup, but while we're married, I'm going to a I'm going to, like, an Aston Martin
Would you let her
dealership.
peg you though?
Bull, that's a tough one. You know what? Yes.
Yes!
Yeah. Everybody has a dollar amount for anything.
Yes!
Oprah Winfrey has that amount of dollars. So, yeah. I mean, if it got me like an Aston Martin and like just a couple of things that I've always wanted, you can peg the shit out of me. I don't care. That's amazing. Yeah. What's a song, like a popular song that just gets on your fucking nerves?
Popular song that gets on my
Yeah, it could
nerves?
be old, new, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just a song that most people do like, but every time you hear it, you're like, "Turn this shit off."
Pretty much any Nickelback song makes me wanna just exit as quickly as possible.
Yeah, damn, those poor
Especially
guys.
when guys who usually hate on Nickelback, and then they all of a sudden know every goddamn word of their song, and I'm like, "You're fucking a traitor. I'm out of here."
Their songs are catchy. I'm sorry.
Oh, do
I
not do
know.
that to me.
I know. I'm sorry. We were doing so well, but and I'm the same way. Look, I think I am one of those guys. I fucking hate Nickelback, but there's a handful of songs that you put on, I'm like, "Damn, this ain't bad."
Later. You're
Yeah, I
like,
know.
"Well, sing it in the shower later."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm in the shower. This is how. Yeah. Just going. I'll say for me, Tom Petty.
Oh,
Tom
okay.
Petty, Tom Petty or the Eagles. I mean, or Eagles, which somebody went after me about that because I said the Eagles, and apparently it's just Eagles. Strike three for why that band sucks. Yeah. But yeah, Tom Petty's voice just gets on my fucking
Mhm.
nerves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be mine. If so, this one actually might be pretty interesting for you because obviously you're in insanely good shape. So you probably have a pretty strict diet, if I had to guess, right?
As of recently, I am
Yeah.
trying the carnivore diet.
Really? How's that going for you? Because I've
I
thought about it.
love it.
I need to do it.
I love it, and honestly, I think the only reason why I got through that 2-mile run yesterday was because I have been on it for, like, 2 almost 2 weeks now, I think.
Yeah.
I think Monday will be 2 weeks, and I didn't have any I usually suffer from really bad shin splints and, like, calf
Oh,
cramps,
uh-huh.
and they were non-existent, and
Really?
they're, like, within seconds of running, okay? And my legs lock up, and I look like Forrest Gump before he decided to become a superhuman runner, okay? Like a
Yeah.
kid Forrest Gump. That's how
Yeah.
it looked.
Yeah,
Like,
like you
during
had
the entire
rickets.
time, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I looked thank God it was an older female and we're using the Army standards, okay? Because I
Yeah.
didn't have to do a 6 or 7 minute mile.
Mhm.
I just needed, like I just needed a 9-minute mile to be average, okay? And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
"Praise the Lord, because I'm not moving these legs fast." And I looked
Yeah.
like Forrest Gump as a kid. Kinda
That's a Jesus. Poor Forrest. Poor you as well, but yeah, that's yeah, God,
Yeah,
that's
so I blame
amazing.
it
He
that
did
that's honestly the I think the
Yeah.
cause, the
I
reason
mean,
why.
he did teach Elvis how to dance, which is overlooked in that movie.
I
Like,
think that, I think Forrest Gump, he's kinda like my idol, you know?
I hate that movie so fucking much.
No!
Yeah.
No way!
Yeah,
Really?
actually,
Oh,
the next question was gonna be a movie everyone loves but you hate, and mine's Forrest Gump.
no shit!
Hate it, which I should love it because I love history and love all that stuff. That movie drives me fucking nuts every time. I
Really?
can't get past it. Jenny's a piece of shit. Lieutenant Dan kinda sucked. I mean, really, like, Forrest was just surrounded by shitty people,
Yeah,
and
because he was who he was, he kinda started bringing out the best in people.
who? Who the fuck did Forrest bring the best out of? Jenny. Jenny showed back up after she was riddled with AIDS,
Yeah,
trying
you're
to make
right.
him
What am I
raise a
doing?
look, trying to make him raise a kid that clearly is not his. I mean, there could have been a million dudes whose kid that was.
Right.
Yeah,
You're right. I'm,
yeah.
yeah.
But I shouldn't just be burying Forrest Gump like that. What's yours though? Like a movie everyone knows but you hate.
God, my least favorite movie that everybody loves,
Mhm.
I would have to say it would be, oh man. Oh, that's a tough one. I like a lot of movies, and it's for
Same.
that entertainment factor. Like
Right.
what I do find myself is when I watch Harry Potter's, I fall asleep within like 10 minutes.
Son of a bitch.
And
I am obsessed with Harry Potter.
and I try. I've had marathons. Something I think it's the music. I think it's the music.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think it's the music
Yeah.
that puts me out.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I have never thought about that music being kind of like a lullaby music,
Yeah,
but it is sort of.
it literally I am narcoleptic moment. And then my kids want to
Yeah.
watch the next one. I'm like, I don't even know what's happening anymore.
Look,
Who are these
yeah.
new characters? I don't even know.
God. Oh, actually, the question I was going to ask about the whole diet thing, if you could make any food 0 calories, what would it be? Like it has 0 effect on you negatively. What would you
Pizza,
eat? Fuck yeah. See,
pizza. I can
I
eat
don't,
a
yeah,
fucking
no.
pizza like
No,
nobody's
we're
business.
back. Yeah, we're
We're
back. Yeah,
back. We're back in
pizza. Yeah, pizza's mine for sure. That like
seriously.
I try not to eat like anything like that anymore. But that's one that God,
I'll
so hard.
I'll sneak a thin crust from Domino's.
You do Domino's or Pizza Hut?
I'm a Domino's girl because
Ah, well, now
I like
we're
their lava cakes. I like
yeah,
their lava
we're
cakes.
off again. God
Ah,
damn.
fuck.
Pizza Hut. No, look, they
I
don't
don't
say no one out pizzas the hut for no reason. God. Yeah, fuck Domino's. Their crust is
I love
weird.
their thin crust. When I've had
Yeah.
Pizza Hut's thin crust, it's soggy, and I like it
Yeah,
like
that's true.
a little
No,
snap to it.
yeah, you're right, you're right. Alright, and then, last one, do you have a guilty pleasure TV show?
Ooh, guilty pleasure TV show.
So, the only reason I'm asking this is because I've recently started watching Vanderpump Rules, and it is so fucking addicting.
Really?
It's
I
basically a 11 season HR violation, but I am hooked.
I'm trying to think, like, see, this is the thing. With my TV shows, I like suspense thrillers. I like to feel scared. I
Yeah.
like the twists and the turns. I like the okay, I'll go Gaga over 24. I watched that
Which
the
24?
show.
Kiefer Sutherland?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
Jack
shit,
Bauer.
I've lost so much sleep over that.
Oh, that's a
Like,
good one.
and
I'm with you.
I've had to learn that if I'm gonna watch this shit, I gotta stop the episode in the middle of the episode when things are kinda quiet and trying to,
Yes, I had to do that. So I just rewatched The Sopranos, which I hadn't
Okay.
seen it since I was a little kid. And yeah, I had to do that. Like I had to stop saying that I was gonna go to sleep after this episode's over because that was not gonna happen. Like,
Mm-mm,
yeah, 24 is one that's like that too, for sure, where they end that every episode. Like,
mhm.
they just make that shit perfect. But yeah, I'm the same way, like suspense, thriller, and everything, but for movies. I don't really watch a lot of TV shows, but when I do, I watch trash reality TV shows.
I do not. That's the one
Oh,
thing I
I
do
love
not.
90 Day Fiance, all that shit.
Mm.
Love it. I know. Look, I feel like I counteracted. I read a lot.
Are we equal now? Are we we're getting close. We're getting close.
I think we're good. My God. Well, look, this has been fucking amazing. I've had a great time
We have to do
talking
this
with you.
again. We
Oh
should
yeah.
definitely have
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. There's no way this is gonna be the only time. So yeah, no, this has been so much fun. So before we go ahead if you have any parting words with anyone. What's your hopes for the future? Take on the Middle East. I don't know. Whatever, whatever you want to go. Who are you voting for?
So
Real.
something I do want to say is that having left the fire service, I wanted to use my more amplified voice to spread awareness to the fact that firefighters across the nation are highly unpaid. and for the amount of work in the sense of the hours that are being put in, the days that, the holidays and the birthdays that these firefighters miss, and EMS, any first responder, and it's just, it's a real shame that they are so unappreciated in the fact of, when it comes to how much they get paid, in comparison. Like, I think I was making, when I first started, as much as someone that worked at Starbucks. And that was
Crazy.
infuriating. Yeah, it's infuriating.
God.
We are staring into the eyes of your loved one, performing chest compressions, hoping that we can get some sign of life. And we're making $19 an hour, and I really want to use my voice to spread that kind of awareness. And then and that's not even be considered high compared to some counties, in the US and what they're getting paid.
Yeah.
So, I really wanted just to bring awareness. Like, if there's ever, an election where something like, an ad valorem comes up on the ballot, and you have a choice, we are here to serve your families. Please vote yes. It's so important that we are able to provide the service, and the manpower to help save your loved ones in any situation. So
Yeah.
I wanted just to that's really important to me. So
That's beautiful. Yeah. Because it's very true. Because obviously people have their opinions about cops and the police, and I'm not saying what mine is or whatever,
right.
but there is not a single thing controversial about the fire department. And anyone who doesn't think they should get paid more is out of their fucking mind. Like,
It
it's and I guess the reasoning is that they don't want people doing it for the money. Uh,
we
why
need
not?
survive.
Why not? I mean, if you can get people in there who wanna do the job, yeah, and
Yeah.
pay people more. You can. You easily can, and it happens all the time where bills get put in for that to happen, and they get shot
Right.
down, and it is a bunch of bullshit.
It's really sad because there's a lot of fire stations that are super outdated. And, like, for instance, I have a station at my department that, is condemned. There's a
Yeah.
trailer behind it that, is, like, bottom of the barrel, okay, because
Jesus.
it's just been passed along from department to department because of the same situation improvements. And it's taking forever to be able to get some sort of rebuild plan
Yeah.
done because of money. And even, like, in the area that I served, there was so much subdivision, like development being built, subdivisions, and these
Mhm.
communities are not thinking about response times because they're taking up all the land without thinking that maybe we should put a fire station there. But I think a certain amount of space should be allotted for first responders to be housed to serve their community. And it's just, it all comes down to money and the willingness to help. And I know inflation's a real thing. Obviously, we all of us feel it every day. But when it comes to the first responders and your life,
Yeah.
it needs to be a non-negotiable.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Well, no.
there's
You
the 10
you
cent.
sh yeah, you should be running for public office at some point.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you might actually do pretty well. I think there's a demographic who would be, yeah, very, open.
Maybe not amongst the wives, but some
Probably not.
might appreciate that. At least I'm trying. I want to use, even though I had to sacrifice my amazing career in the fire service to do OnlyFans and support my family. I hope they can realize why I am a single mom, and I didn't have a choice. I was back. I had to think about my child, and get
Yeah.
her the right help that she needed. But if I can do anything for the love of the fire service, I just have to use my voice to try to help. And this is the best way I know how, and the need that there is for financial help for the firefighters. So
Amen.